Happy to have in studio with me this morning Mason County Sheriff Casey Salisbury. Good morning, sir. How you doing?
Good morning.
Good to see you on this Monday morning.
Yeah, it's a great morning.
It is. I was just reading in the news that it looks like Thurston County Sheriff Snows is back in Thurston County. I know you talked a little bit about that last week.
He's back home, and I think that will really help him.
Yeah. Pretty amazing stuff. All right, we've got some good things to talk about today. First off, we'll talk a little bit about the testing process for your corporals and sergeants.
Yes, last week we had testing for our people that will be testing into new positions in our office over the next couple of years for sergeant and corporal. And that process involves an assessment center. They take a written test, and the top scores go to an assessment center, which is little modules of areas that you have to go in and work through a live problem. So what we have is we have people from the community that come in as role players, actors.
Okay.
And the stage is set with some type of particular issue that the person has to work through, and we watch that they follow through the right procedure steps, give the right legal answers, and they are judged not by our office, but we have outside agencies that come in and that do the assessing on that. And so it has nothing to do with us. We don't know what the scores are or anything till the end. And then for the role playing, what we do is we get, this time we got citizens from the community, from some of our business and our local citizens, to be the role players and to participate in the assessment process. I guess I didn't realize at the end of that, a number of the people that we had come in said, we didn't know that was so hard for them to do that, to go through that process, because very few businesses have to go through multiple scenarios and get scored on them in front of people and carry out the processes. And I guess they didn't realize that. And they said, you should talk more to the community about that. We had no idea. They always thought that, the number of them there always thought that the people in the sheriff's office picked them. It's not us that picks them. It's from other agencies that come in, do the testing, and then putting those role models in. So we thought this last time it would be really nice for us to use our own community citizens to come in and sit in and watch that process, and they found it very interesting. So as we go through that in the future again, we're going to come ask more people in the community to participate with us.
My mom works for the State Patrol in the financial side of it, the accounting side of it, and so every so often she'll send me an email saying, well, Jeff, they're getting ready to do these again. I'm thinking about doing this, and they'll have a description for belligerent drunk at night. And so the player has to role play that. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah, ours are not done on traffic stops so much. Ours are legal issues, maybe about property line dispute, and two people are arguing about their property line. And a deputy appears, and they've got they're kind of scripted. I mean, they know what they're going to do each time, so it's consistent. It may be about a legal issue that somebody calls, or a complaint on a circumstance involving the sheriff's office, that they have to contact the citizen complaint, or it might be two people in an argument that they have to go in and break up an argument and make the deciding pieces off that. The State Patrol does do theirs on traffic stops out there, and they're looking for role players too, and they have a confined area that you're not confined area, but an area that you'll drive a little late and make a traffic stop. And we do that at the academy, where they have to go through the steps of contacting the car, all the safety things, and then how to contact people. But
interesting.
It's really important. It's really nice to have people do that. But I was just very happy that we were able to include our community.
Yeah.
And last year and a half ago, I started a committee at the state of Washington called the Citizens Trust Committee, and how do you involve your citizens more within your sheriff's office to reach out to your community. And this is one of the things that we looked at doing is bringing in people from our local community to do that and see how our process was. And I just didn't realize that most all the offices in the state, you have to go through an assessment center in order to be promoted. And I just guess people didn't realize how difficult that really is.
Yeah.
It's stressful. I've had to do it to get where I'm at lots of times. It is really stressful when you're going through there.
Yeah, everybody's, and that's the whole point, is that they're analyzing every word, every interaction on whether or not there's perhaps a legal ramification or perhaps some civil something that could happen.
Yes.
Wow.
Anyway, it was a great week last week to have our citizens come in and help us, and they recommended that I may even bring in one of those role players and sit down and have them talk to you about it. That was very interesting, the points they brought up.
That sounds like a great idea. Last week in the news, we heard about Nate Anderson getting a commendation, helping out some folks in Thurston County. What was the situation there?
Yeah, Nate arrived to assist the Washington State Patrol on an overpass, and the person was considering jumping.
Okay.
and he was distracted, of course, because the troopers were on one side of the bridge trying to contact him, and as the troopers were maintaining his attention as he got ready to go over the bridge, Nate came up from behind him and grabbed him around the waist and pulled him off the edge of the railing from going over onto the road below, and it was just one of those things. He happened to be in the right place at the right time and just stepped in without being asked. We don't necessarily have radio communication with the state, so he just saw this issue happening and participated in it and was able to save a person.
Wow.
And his intent was to go over, and Nate was able to avoid a tragic circumstance for him and possibly the cars passing below.
Yeah.
So, Nate was recommended with a letter of commendation, a commendation award for his work in assisting the patrol.
Finally, you have a note here on the Patriot Guard Riders. This is a new group I haven't heard of before. Tell me about them.
Patriot Guard Riders are mostly veterans.
Okay.
And they're generally they ride their motorcycles and things and events, and they escort veterans that may not have family or just escort veterans to their final place of rest.
Oh, okay.
And so and they assist families in those processes, and they also when parts of when the Twin Towers, they had some structural pieces of the Twin Towers. I think they came from Spokane to somewhere in Seattle or something, so they escorted that item across by motorcade.
Okay.
And so they're all veterans and work for veterans organizations supporting them. And our office for the last quite a few years, one of our, I guess you'd say our cause is assisting our veterans, whether it's Veterans Corps or veterans in the community. And last week at our law enforcement breakfast, the president of Patriot Guard Riders was there and stood up and asked if he could make an announcement and recognized the sheriff's office for the work that we do in supporting all of our veterans, and gave us one of a flag of their organization, and thanked the sheriff's office for our work in supporting vets.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's really a meaningful thing, because and that's kind of our cause in the sheriff's office is helping our vets, and we didn't realize that was coming. It was very, very kind of them.
Do you know how many off the top of your head in your service there are vets?
We have a lot of people that are veterans. A lot of our guys are vets. I'm probably one of the few that actually is not.
Okay.
And many of our guys, even some of our newest guys coming in, a lot of them have served in the military first and then come on with us. So it's fairly common. And when we look to recruit veterans as well, I throw that out there, because as we're moving through for corrections and for deputy, folks getting out of the military, we've got Joint Lewis Accord there. Mm-hmm. And those folks have already been through, obviously, basic training or an academy.
Yeah.
They recognize rank structure. They understand, and how a process and a system works, and they're just tremendous employees when we can get them to come to work for us.
Because of that training in the boot camp and the basic trainings, they're able to easily take in new information, even if it was similar to some of the stuff they had learned in the past.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, a lot of it is just a common rank structure. How does a paramilitary organization work? We have sergeant, corporals, and that kind of thing. Where do you fit in, and how do you process information as you're being guided and directed? If somebody's giving you a direction, how do you look at that? How do you take it? And more importantly, how do you lead others? They have a lot of leadership skills that come in. Some of the folks come in, I say they're fairly young and they're retired from the military, and they come in and they have tremendous backgrounds. Chief Osterhout is a retired sergeant major in Special Forces. Well, talk about a guy that's led a lot of troops.
Yeah.
My undersheriff is a Marine, and my other chief deputy, Ryan Sperling, is also sergeant major in the Marine Corps and the Army.
Oh, wow.
So to have where they have led troops, and a lot of them have instructional areas within the military too. They have a specialty that they teach others. Their ability to teach anything is outstanding. I mean, it's just super for us when we can bring in folks from any branch of the service.
Huh, very nice. Mason County Sheriff Casey Salisbury, I always love talking with you, get some good insights on things that are going on around these parts. And anytime you got stuff to come on by, bring it on in.
Thank you.
Otherwise, we'll talk next Monday.
Thank you.